Okay, so now that we've installed the apps that we're going to be using today, we're going to create the desired kind of fields that we want to be seeing on this ticket. For example, if I go over here, I've set up a problem tickets view. We can see that servers keep becoming unresponsive here, and we can see that currently this problem ticket has 2 linked incidences, letting from being reported by customers, hey, there's a problem. So we've got a problem ticket, and that's all kind of linked very nicely. If I was to solve this problem out, when I do that and click on solve down here, that would also solve the incidents out, and those incidents would get the same kind of response as in the problem ticket. So this is just native Zendesk functionality, and it all works very nicely. So the first issue that we're going to be kind of addressing here is around the fact that if I wanted to spin off a change from here, there's no kind of real way of doing it like there is, for example, if we go into one of these incident tickets, we can link it to a problem, native Zendesk functionality. There's no way of doing that type of thing with native Zendesk functionality with their type field. So this is where we'll go into the admin center over here. So once again, you can get into it over here, and then we can kind of start setting up some fields. So we'll go over here and we'll go to our fields. And the first ticket field that we're going to be setting up is a kind of a custom ticket type field. So something that's going to replace this type field, but we'll be able to have all the other kind of things that we want, not just change. You might want a project type or whatever. And the way that we can do that, we can set a drop down field, and we'll say we'll call this field ticket type. And then we can stick in our values. So I'll start with our value here. So question, incident, problem, task, and then we can start adding whatever other ones we want. Change, project, and I can save this like so. So now for our field, I'll just show you with this singular field, what we can do is we can add this field to our form. So by default, I think it will be on the form. So we've got ticket type here. You can arrange these fields however you like. So I'm going to bring my ticket type up to sit just above the type field, and we can click on save. So if we go back to our ticket here and refresh this, we can see that we can now set a ticket type to change. However, this incident kind of problem does not let us have the same functionality as this one here, being able to link to kind of problems and what have you. So this is where the next step is. If we go into the field conditions app here, we can set some field mappings up. So we'll activate the type field mapping here, and we can select the field that we just created, which is ticket type, and we can say, okay, so on the type field that is there, we want a question to equal a question, an incident to equal an incident, a problem to equal a problem, and a task to equal a task. But then for our other types, we can say, well, the change is going to equal question. We usually kind of set things, if you don't need extra functionality, the question is the one that really doesn't have any other functionality to it. So that's really the default value of the type field. So you can either set kind of project to equal a question or what have you there. But this is just an extra example here. So when I click on save here, we can see that back here on the ticket, when I click on a question, we can see that this is now mapped, which is great. So it's mapping it to the native type field. Now the last kind of element of kind of replacing the native type field and being able to add whatever we want is to hide that field. So if we go back into the field conditions app and go to hidden fields here, then we can go and find, or we can just check the type field here, and dang, that's now being hidden. So once again, if I was to refresh the apps, this is going to hide the native type field, and we've got our essentially our cake and eat it too. So so that's one field. So now what we want to do is have, when we choose change, we want a bunch of other fields to show up, like for example, change type, configuration item, impact, risk, that type of stuff. So we'll go back to our forms or fields over here at the admin section, and we'll start adding a few of these fields. So we'll add another drop-down field, and we'll call this one change type, and we'll set the change types to normal, emergency, and maybe standard, I think, are the usual. And then we'll set the tags here to be a little bit more obscure than just saying normal, emergency, and standard, so it's a little bit more obvious with those tags. You don't have to worry too much about them for now. It's later on when you're kind of building up lots and lots of tags on your help desk, or you're trying to build workflows, that it becomes a bit more important to have more specific tags like this. But we'll save this. So we've got that one going. Now we're going to add in a couple more fields. We'll just add in a configuration item field. That'll just be a text field. Configuration item. What else? Impact. So we'll add another drop down field. We can continue to add as many kind of high, I won't high impact, low. You can add as many different selections in here as well, but you'll get the idea as far as building the fields that you want to have going. So now if I was to go to our ticket, we should be able to see that, we'll just reload that because we've got some new fields. We should be able to see that those fields are now visible on the ticket. So we can see question, change, what have you. But we've got our 3 extra fields we just created: change type, configuration item, and impact. But we don't actually want these fields to show when, for example, question is selected. So this is where we need to set up our conditionality. So we can do that by going into the field conditions app and going over to the fields that we want. So we'll start off with change type, and we'll just whereabouts we go. So we'll hide this one, and we'll say this one is only going to, it's basically been hidden for everyone except in the case, it's being hidden, but it's going to be shown to everybody under these circumstances. So we can say when the ticket type is change, project, not project, change, like so. So now the change type's only going to be showing then. And then for example, our configuration item and impact, we can then do the same thing with these guys, but we can do it based on a selection for within the change type field. So we can say, well, show the configuration item when the change type field is set to normal and emergency, or all 3, let's say. And the same with impact. So change type. Maybe we only want to show the impact when it's a normal or emergency change, for example. So now that we've set that conditionality in here, if we once again we'll refresh the apps, we'll be able to see that those fields are now invisible, and we can kind of say it's a change. Okay, well, what type of change type? It's a normal change, therefore show these 2 fields. It's a standard change, therefore show this field. So yeah, as far as fields go, we're not going to create all of the types of change fields that you would kind of potentially see, that being kind of risks, identified risks, backup plan, all that. You get the idea as far as how to create ticket fields. Next, we'll move to the next step in the kind of flow, which will be the tasks app. So coming back to our problem ticket here, with our problem ticket, we're going to be wanting to spin off a change ticket for the change managers department to be able to do. So this is where we can, firstly, we'll need to, to be able to assign it to a different group, the change group. We'll have to actually, or the change managers, we'll actually have to create the group inside of Zendesk. So if we go over here, we can go to a people and we can go to groups and we can kind of create a change group. So we'll call it change managers. And you could have a problem managers group if you wanted to as well, up to you. And I'm just going to put myself in the change managers group like so. And so, so we've got somebody to assign the ticket once we kind of spin up a ticket similar to this incident where we're linking the change. The next step is to create a ticket template.